Welcome to the second Selfish Apps podcast. This time around, the second part basically of how to get software on SailfishOS. I basically described or showed you last time how to get software from the Yola store. This time around, I will show you how to get software from the unofficial Openrepos or warehouse repository. First of all, what you have to do is go into your settings and then enable under development mode, above development mode, enable the option to install untrustworthy software. This basically allows you to install the warehouse client that you can get from the website openrepos.net, which is basically a repository or software collection repository for SailfishOS applications, not only SailfishOS applications, but mostly also SailfishOS applications. So you can get onto the website called openrepos.net, and if my internet connection wouldn't be so slow, it would load a lot faster. And there you have the option to basically surf around and search for applications. So if you don't have a SailfishOS device and you want to search for particular applications that are available, you can also do here on openrepos.net. You can see some of the latest additions to applications, but it also not only features applications, but also hacks, tweaks, and patches, because this is an unofficial store. So basically it allows a lot more than the Yola store, because the Yola store has some restrictions for the applications, so they are not allowed to do everything on the system. Here basically you have a store which or a website, a repository which allows for applications doing basically anything on your device. And this also includes patches, for example, for the launcher. So as SailfishOS has a lot of open source components, the launcher, for example, can be patched, and there are some patches, just like here, the patch for launcher combined patch, how it's called, combines different patches. And this allows tweaking your SailfishOS device and experience even more if you want to. But it has a downside, of course, because SailfishOS applications in the Yola store, basically you can install them without reading something, and they basically work. If they don't work for you, just remove them and that's all. If you install from Openrepos, it could be a little bit more difficult. Sometimes you need to read what's in the application description to get it running successfully. And of course, those patches especially, they aren't very upgrade friendly. So if you want to later upgrade without any big problems, you have to remove all the patches to perform the upgrade successfully. And this is not for all, therefore this store is not installed by default. And as you can see here, this is a website, so you can download stuff from here if you want to. But the first thing that I would recommend you to do, even if you don't want to use every application in here, is search for an application called Warehouse, because this is basically a user interface just like the Yola store that you can install, and which allows you then to download software more easily without going to a special web page. So you see here this Warehouse for SailfishOS entry. Click on this, and there you will find a list of RPM packages. You basically click on the newest one, and let me just do it here. It will download this package. If you have a fast internet connection, it will download even faster. As you can see here, my download speed is a little bit low. Click on it, and it will say open. And if you have the checkmark checked for installing untrustworthy software, you get this, where you can press install, and then it will install the warehouse application. So this is basically also a nice how to install RPM applications, and every application from Openrepos website that has an RPM And then you get this warehouse application, and if you click on this, you will get something like a normal store where you can find application. You can see the recently updated applications. If you swipe to the right, you have the different categories of applications, just like in the Yola store. So you can go into the apps and search for apps, just like, for example, I would search for photo and video apps, and you can see page 0 of photo and video applications. And if you find something interesting, just like, for example, Sailfish Scanner, you have the option then to, in this case I have it already installed, but you can see here it has a total download score, so not just an approximate download score, but a total download score. It has a favorite or like button or like score as well. It has a description here, it has a changelog, separate description and changelog. It has comments where you can rate also different comments, as you can see here. You have the option to rate the application, and you can read the different comments, and you have some applications here, with some screenshots, here that you can just simply scroll through. Wonder if you can make them big. I don't think you can make them big, but you can see you can scroll through those application screenshots to see the different stuff in here, and you can get more apps by the same author or seed related applications or related packages in here. In this case, I have it installed. You can uninstall it or check for updates, which is also very interesting if you want to update your applications. If you find something that you did not install before, let's go into, for example, this here. Not sure what this is. Image processing tool, an alpha version, as you can see here, using Python and something. That looks pretty cool. Can change color and so on. A nice application. If you want to download it, you have to enable the repository, because every user that uploads an application to Openrepos gets its own repository. And this means you have to enable repositories first before you can install an application, because they are not stored on one repository. This has some advantages, some disadvantages. Advantages, for example, if a software application breaks, you can just disable the repository for this, and you won't get any warning or problems. This is one. The other one is if someone adds malicious stuff in there, it's very easy to remove after this. So if you want to install this, click on Enable Repository. This will just simply enable the repository and will then automatically start an update. So it will refresh the repository list, and then you have the option to install. And if you have this repository enabled, you also get updates, of course. And if you want to install the software, just click on Install. You get a nice little timer, and after the 5 seconds go, it will start pulling everything necessary for installing this application. And a few seconds later, you will successfully have installed this little application. During or while it's installing, you can go back. Normally you can go back. In this case, it's a little bit hanging around. Now it's installed. You can see, you can check for updates or uninstall it. You can go back, and if you are here in the main screen, you have the option to refresh everything, so it will reload the recently updated apps. Or you can search for apps or check for updates, which is a nice feature. So checking for updates will basically refresh all repositories, and then you get a notice of updates. You can go into my profile, and here we'll see a list of updates, installed applications, or show only the updates, and you can see the current operation. So it's currently refreshing everything, and you can see the list of enabled repositories where you can just simply see and also, I think, click on them. Just like, for example, here, or hold longer and disable repositories, which is interesting if you don't want updates for a particular repository is broken, or the application is broken. You don't want to list. The one that is responsible for the warehouse application itself is called Basil. which is basically, I think, the developer of this, or this is basically the repository responsible for the warehouse thingy. You can show updates. It will show you some updates, just like, for example, I have an update for the Harbor Camera Plus application. I click on this, and then it will install this update a few seconds later. So this is basically the unofficial Openrepos warehouse client, the way of installing unofficial native SailfishOS applications. Most of them are free software, open source, not all. But yeah, this is basically my view on how to get software from Openrepos or the warehouse application on SailfishOS. Hope you enjoyed that little demonstration, and thanks for watching.